Okay, starting my day with some nice coffee, cigarette, and some philosophy, because this is what I do when I wake up. Um, all right, so after years of becoming loosely acquainted with Eastern thought and applying it to my life in as many ways as I can, I have definitely come to appreciate the core wisdom and virtues of it. It has been a tremendous ally for me in using a lot of Western thought and Western psychology to get to a place where I am in a good relationship with myself and able to build good relationships with other people and to be able to set objectives and pursue them and accomplish things and to feel all right in my life, ultimately. Most of the time, mostly okay, right? And it's just in a bookstore yesterday, and it occurred to me I've never really gone to the source. I've been relying on what people can convey to me via YouTube, be it Alan Watts or a reading of Zen koans or whatever it might be. Um, that's pretty much been my source for most of this. And it's been a good source. I think we deride that because we have higher regard for a well-read person, pardon me, and yeah, I think we should all pick up books and give our time and attention to them in the way that going to the source is superior to almost any other way of understanding what it is a person was trying to convey, rather than counting on um, a third party to distill that and transmit that as the only source. Now, I think doing that was the best way to take it in initially, like primary interface through others' distillation of the work worked very well for me, and I might even recommend it because it's hard to dive into work you don't know or understand without any commentary or um, there's a kind of structure a person's understanding lends to work that the work itself may not possess. And if you have a Westerner explaining Eastern thought and you're a Westerner, it's probably actually a more helpful way to come into it. But then there comes a time, I believe, that you should stop and look at the source. And so, coming upon some books that provided the source materials, I decided to get them. One of them is a compendium of uh, pieces like The Art of War, several others that I'm not as familiar with, and the second one I found, a little impulse buy at checkout, was The Pocket Samurai. And so I've just started this, and I don't know, where am I, page 9? Um, nope, I'm beyond that. I've lost my page. Here we go. Okay, well, I made it to page 11. Here we are. Um, It reads, the following are from The Art of War and the Wu Tzu, respectively. The first reads, therefore, it is a functional military law that one does not rely on the enemy not coming, but relies on the fact that he himself is waiting. One does not rely on the enemy not attacking, but relies on the fact that he himself is unassailable. And that's what made me pause and pop open the camera. So, the reason that struck me is because I listen to all kinds of advice from coaches and therapists and whoever is willing to share their knowledge and wisdom online. And one thing that's come up more than once is the fact it's mostly actually in the dating space that it's not about not wanting to engage in something if somebody could do something that can hurt you. It's engaging in something knowing they could hurt you and that you would be okay. And when I hear something from ancient times about bloody battle, and I hear it about modern times, and I guess bloody battle might be the experience for some of dating, but nobody's swinging axes at this point. Um, it seems to me that there's a somewhat universal wisdom in that, and there's an abiding truth that can transcend such different contexts and be so equally applicable. And so, yeah, it's just striking me right now that this really is the key. The key is not to think that I can defend against things happening in life in terms of controlling what happens around me. The only way I can defend against what happens in life is to control that which happens within me. How I prepare, how I set my mind, how I understand the reality at hand and set out to meet it. And it really grabbed me that we need to adjust to comprehend that we are the agents of our own success and failure, our own flourishing and our own demise in so many regards. And if you trace it back far enough, it is possible to see where it is we have taken ourselves off course, to where we have led ourselves to places where the results are not what we would have chosen if presented with a menu. And to realize that in taking a, a command of that and applying our efforts to shoring up our own thinking, our own behavior, our own habits and approaches to things. And now I say habits while sitting there smoking a cigarette. Mm. Still crawling out of the wreckage, so it's a process. But in so many regards, I do mind my habits. I do mind my approach, my way of doing things, and it is giving me the strength that I expect in time. I can transcend some of these vestigial habits that don't serve us well, because as we value things, we prioritize other things around them. We summon resources to provide for them. And when we find things that are counter to them, we act to limit that. And so I don't think saying I should be well, I think I should live a healthier life, da, 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 that's that's only the initial spark. It's the initiator, but it's not the explosion. The real reaction takes place in actually internalizing and applying that to a larger sense of value and purpose. And in saying that, I was working with the trainer who encouraged us to say, I am a health seeking individual. And yeah, that's a great way to put it, because it means that I'm always kind of looking for the next way to be a little bit healthier in my life. And it's easy to start with the baby steps and make the changes that are within our reach. And it's wise. It's wise to do the things that allow us to gain traction before we try to stand on it and run. And I'm not up to running yet, but I have gotten traction and I am getting to my feet, and I am at times being able to assume a strong and stable stance with my eyes to the horizon where I want to be. And as I do that, it gives me the means with which to further realize that ambition, that desire to be always moving toward greater health and autonomy and mastery. And it also means my ability to acknowledge that I am not there, to say I can see in reality I'm not there. I know that the challenges will continue to present themselves, and I need to continue to build the skills to meet them. And there's something here that is so enduring and such a simple truth that has somehow gotten lost again and again in human history. And I think it's time we take it out and dust it off and implement it for our benefit and the benefit of those around us, because how we live has a lot to do with the influence we have on others and their lives. And if we can use our energies to improve our lives and by extension the lives of those around us, even in the smallest ways, it's a victory over the darkness every day. It really is, to come and bring the light and to be the light and to honor and serve the light within us, such that we can shine it out into the darkness, that others can actually enjoy that illumination and see what's around them in that particular hue, and to know that there are so many colors in the spectrum beyond what we experience in the immediate moment and perhaps even comprehend in a larger sense. And so, yeah, this one point really jumped out and grabbed me as something that so broadly relevant and useful to understand that we can't, I've said it elsewhere in other ways, we can't control what happens. We can't control what other people do, but we can control how we experience that and how we respond to that and how that has positive or negative repercussions according to the choices we make within that. And I'd like to see us all take back our power. I'd like to see us all become a little stronger, a little brighter. And I think if we can all get our lights shining a little bit brighter, we might be able to dispel a good amount of the darkness that seems to be enclosing us at the moment. And I love the darkness. This is not against the darkness, but the darkness of the human heart needs to be kept in balance. It needs to be the dot in the yin yang, not the paisley form, not the little fish swimming around. It's the dot. And when we let that envelop the whole, it's not a yin yang anymore. It's just a big black dot, and it doesn't balance, it doesn't move the same. And so there is a place for darkness, but we need to keep it in its place, and we need to do so with our own light. And if we would like to see the world be a better place in terms of moving toward the good, there was something about that too. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on. Okay, I got it here. There is a definition of a samurai that says he is polite, cheerful, and strives with others for the good. And I think that's what I'm trying to say here, that if we come with a certain kind of energy and we are decent with others and we are coming with a happy heart and we are working together to serve the good, I think that is what keeps the light shining bright and chasing away a lot of the wickedness that causes so much suffering in this world that we do have some sway over. There's a share of suffering there's nothing we can do about. All we can do is be correct within ourselves to meet that. But there's so much of it that we create, and there's so much of it we can dispel. And I think in working with others for the good, that's how we change the world. And it's not about political action, and it's not about social justice, and it's not about the language we use or the demonstrations we stage. It's about how we live, how we conduct ourselves, how we behave with others day to day, moment to moment, that actually shapes the world and makes it what we want it to be. And I guess for a personal anecdote, I find that when I go out and I have goodwill toward life, right? And just a goodwill toward life. I'm like, hey, whatever today's been, I'm here now. I'm able to do these things. I have these resources, these blessings, these abilities at my disposal. And there's also an idea of service in being a samurai, right? That's another root of the word, and its meaning comes from the notion of from the word for to serve. Okay, we're working with words here. The word for to serve was one of the root words that gave rise to the name samurai, according to this book. And I think if you go out with goodwill toward life, with a mindset to serve, you're going to transmit a signal that attracts people who also value that. And in that, you will have exchanges with people who try to meet you there. And when two people show up with goodwill and bright light, it it doubles the illumination. It more than doubles the illumination. It fortifies the will. It enhances the whole effort, and it creates a reality around that is one I would call most desirable. I really enjoy connecting with people and feeling that what I bring actually creates a climate that we both want to inhabit, and that in so doing, I invite others to bring more of the same, and we can enhance, augment, and expand that ambiance that we wish to experience, and that there's nothing but benefit for all concerned in that. We're in a world where people are playing so many zero-sum games. The greatest things are infinite and um, inexhaustible. They really are. There's no amount of creativity or love or laughter that you can you can spend that you've used up a larger share. There's always more. The more you put out there, the more you actually generate. And I'm interested in playing a different kind of game. You can have the zero fun, zero sun, zero sum game if that's what you've chosen, but you are serving darkness. You are against the balance and the good, and in that you're standing against the samurais of spirit. So consider your position. Yes? Yes. Okay. So that's my piece on that. All right. Till the next one. Bye.